So folks, we're in Sunnyside, just a block north of the campus on Staples at Forrester. And we're going to introduce the so-called mint family, the Lamiaceae, with this beautiful rosemary. This is the prostrate form that we use so often in our gardens. These used to be known as rosmarinus for a long time. All the years I've been teaching these classes, rosmarinus officinalis prostratus was what we called this. And recently there's been a name change. What else is new? And these have been lumped into the salvias. It's not surprising. These have, a lot of the characteristics that the salvias have. This sort of zygomorphic flower that has bilateral symmetry. Rather than having like a daisy flower that's symmetrical in all directions. They call it actinomorphic. This is zygomorphic, and that's typical in the salvia. It has opposite arrangement of the leaves. We can't see it very well on this. Maybe I'll show that to you in a minute, but the leaves are paired opposite one another rather than alternately. Again, you can't see it very well on this because the foliage is so dense, but if we dig down in there, we would find that the stems have kind of a squared off quality. These don't show that as well as some of the Lamiaceae, but anyway, those are mint family characteristics that show up really well in this plant. So it's not surprising in some ways. Rosmarinus sort of is no more. Salvia is the genus now, and Salvia rosmarinus as a species name. And we keep the cultivar name Prostratus. Now this is called Prostratus because it, if it's growing on flat ground, the stems tend to run out and lie flat and prostrate. But on a little wall like this, you can see what happens. It trails beautifully. It creates kind of a waterfall effect. And we just have one plant here, but if you have a bunch of these planted all along a retainer like this, you can get a beautiful kind of cascading waterfall effect. Now this is on a north face. This is in more shade than we often see this plant, and it's not in as full a bloom as you might sometimes see it. But even in part shade, it'll bloom and, quite dense. And so I'm going to give you guys full sun part shade for this, although it's probably more often recommended for sunny locations. This particular cultivar, Prostratus, does really well in coastal areas. They can, and when they go inland, they can get the center dies out and they can get really woody. I mean, even here, they get, with age, they get kind of woody. But, you can really, to me, it's kind of a look. It really has kind of a wizened, gnarled, aged effect, and can, even the woody stems with age, when they're exposed, they can be quite interesting. So as far as water goes, infrequent really. I mean, these are very drought tolerant, and you can actually, I've seen these once established left without any watering. They struggle a little bit that way, but again, it can create kind of a look. And I have to say, those the plants that have been handled that way have had the sort of most dense, stunning bloom that I think I've ever seen on these. So because they don't grow very quickly, and the bloom tends to be very concentrated, or it seems it's a very dense bloom. But anyway, it looks a little better, generally speaking, if it's given some water. And once established, infrequent but thorough watering is the way I would go with this. They're easy to prune. You can take the little branchlets that grow out beyond the plant like this, and tuck those back in, remove those, and keep the plant sort of cascading if you want that effect. Over time, especially if they're not pruned, they will kind of mound up on the top, like you see this one here. But you know, it takes a little while for it to do that. These really do want to lie flat. Shrub, these are woody plants. Broadleaf evergreen shrub is the way we would describe these. Some people call these subshrubs because of the low-lying form, but you know, I think just broadleaf evergreen shrub is probably generally a better way to describe these. I want to walk across the street real quick and show you another cultivar. The Prostratus here has a real pale blue flower, but these do come in pinks. There's one called Majorca Pink, another one called Rosea that has a pink flower. The one we're going to come look at here has a much more upright form and sort of a more iridescent blue color. You can see this shows us a little better that sort of opposite arrangement of the leaves. I don't know if you guys can see how those are kind of paired a little better than on the other one. And you can kind of see what the, you know, so you can sort of see that stem kind of squared off there as well. So anyway, this looks a lot like Tuscan Blue to me. I'm not sure, but sort of a younger version of these. If it is Tuscan Blue, it'll grow 3 to 4 times this height. But this one has the sort of very upright and vigorous quality that we associate with Tuscan Blue, which is one of the very one of the other very common cultivars. So anyway, just to give you an idea, these rosemaries are not all created equal, quite a bit of variety there, and just a very versatile and you know, well-loved landscape plant. There are, by the way, some, you know, of course, we use rosemary a lot in our cooking, right? And there are some forms that are, you know, I was reading today actually about one cultivar, you know, sort of grown especially for barbecue. So, and that's the name of its form. Go figure. It's a cultivar name, so that's a little unusual. But anyway, remember on the quizzes, folks, those cultivar names are always capitalized. They are not italicized, and we always use single quotes to show them. So, you know, this will be Salvia, rosmarinus. I was about to say officinalis there. Salvia, rosmarinus, and then in single quotes, Prostratus for the one that I'll be quizzing you on. So anyway, that wraps up our salvia for today. We'll see a number of other plants in the mint family, the Lamiaceae, before it's over here, but this gets us off to a really nice start in that family. All right.